You're looking at a Hammarlund model SPC-10 single-sideband converter sitting atop a Hallicrafters SX-73 general coverage receiver. The Hallicrafters is tuned to the 20 meters band, and we're listening to some CW signals. Signals are weak because it's late in the afternoon and the band is beginning to die. Notice that the Hallicrafters is set in the AM position, so its BFO is turned off. The RF gain is all the way open and the AGC is on. So we're basically using the Hallicrafters only as a fairly wideband AM receiver right now. Its IF output goes to the IF input jack on the back of the SPC-10, and all the demodulation of the CW signal is taking place in the SPC-10, which has a product detector. Right now I have the selectivity switch in the SPC-10 set at 500 hertz. The selectivity is determined by 60 kilohertz IF frequency. So basically the SPC-10 takes a double conversion or a single conversion receiver and adds an extra conversion stage, and then gives it the selectivity of the low frequency IF stage. There are 4 selectivity positions, so I can go. There's the broadest, which is 3 kilohertz. Now I'll tune across the band. Like I say, there aren't many signals on, they're pretty weak. Boy, that guy's really moving. Up past the RTTY stations. Now we're into the sideband part of the band. Notice that the SPC-10 has a 3-speed AGC. I'm going to put it in the slow position here for sideband tuning. You can see the difference in the S-meter readings between the Hallicrafters and the sort of slow AGC response now of the Hammarlund. I'll go back to the medium, and now there's the fast. You can see the difference. There's also a vernier tuning, so you can and that's a nice feature for especially for these older radios that don't have a whole lot of band spread. There's a 6AQ5 audio output stage on the SPC-10, so it controls everything from the IF all the way through to the speaker. You've also got a BFO position, which is useful on CW, because if it's set at 0, you'll be centering the CW signal in the passband, and you don't want to do that, so you want to set it off a little bit. But it does have single signal receptivity. Let me narrow it down a little bit. We'll let this guy start talking again here. Now there it is in the opposite sound end. You basically don't hear anything. Notice that the sideband says lower sideband, even though we know on 20 meters we're really hearing upper sideband. That has to do with the conversion scheme of the receiver, whether you're adding or subtracting the VFO injection frequency to get a sum or a difference output. I'm assuming, I haven't really tried this on an SB600, but I'm assuming the conversion on the SB600 would make this the upper sideband for the 20 meter band. So now let's take a look at how the notch filter on this converter works. Now we're listening to WWV, or maybe it's WWVH, at 15 megahertz. It's nice to hear that part of the band open now. And I'm listening in the AM position here, but I'm going to switch it into sideband. So there's a tone now because we're not 0 beat with WWV. But let's pretend that that's an interfering signal that we want to notch out. So the way you do it, you simultaneously adjust the slot frequency and the slot depth in order to get a null. So we'll try it here. Well, it took me a little while to get the hang of it. But there's the interfering carrier now, pretty well notched out. You can see the S meter basically just shows the ticking of the time beat on WWV. So this is an interesting converter. It works very well. It's very smooth operating. It's a design that I understand is based on the IF stage and product detector stage of the Hammarlund HQ-170, but I haven't actually compared the circuit diagrams to verify this. This is a pretty rare sideband converter. Hammarlund made many of the HC-10s, which are a kind of boxy shape sideband converter that was designed for mostly the amateur market. Did not have a tuning meter or an S meter on it, but the SPC-10 is the much more rare variant of that converter, and it works extremely well. I've just calibrated and aligned it, and it works like it did the day it left the factory. Very interesting piece of vintage electronics.